Hello and welcome to About Ghana Football News. Coming up in today's bulletin. Medeama returns to the top of the Ghana Premier League. Francis Abu ruled out of the 2026 World Cup. DR Congo eliminates Nigeria in a thrilling African playoff. Let's delve into the news. First of all, we start with the latest from the Ghana Premier League. And matchday 10 of the Ghana Premier League delivered plenty of drama and case shifts across the table. Medeama returned to the top as Asante Kotoko extended their unbeaten streak and Basake Holy Stars produced one of the most dramatic finishes of the weekend. Asante Kotoko and Aduana FC played out a trailing 1-1 draw at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium on Sunday. Emmanuel Mafo gave Aduana an early lead in the 6th minute after Kotoko goalkeeper Dari Aziz failed to gather an initial shot. Without their first-choice goalkeeper, Mohamed Kamara, Kotoko faced early pressure, but the Porcupine Warriors gradually grew into the game. Lord Amwa drew Kotoko level with a superb strike, lifting their home fans to their feet. Both teams searched for a winner in the second half, but could not find a decisive touch. The draw kept Kotoko unbeaten and placed them sixth on the table with 2 games in hand, while Aduana slipped to third despite extending their own unbeaten run. In Swedro, All Blacks were held to a goalless draw by Hearts of Oak. The hosts dominated last spells and created promising chances, but failed to convert. Hearts of Oak, still recovering from their recent Super Clash defeat, defended resolutely to secure a point. All Blacks remained winless in 4 matches, but retained a strong home record. Meanwhile, Medeama returned to the top with a 2-1 win over 11 Wonders in Legon. God knows Japasu opened the scoring. Daniel Lomote equalized after missing an earlier penalty, and Nana Kofi Babel struck the decisive goal for Medeama. 11 Wonders as a result remained bottom and winless. Other results on the day included Heart of Lions 2-0 victory over Young Apostles, Pechem United climbing out of the relegation zone with a 2-0 win over Samachek, Berkum Chelsea narrowly beating Nations FC 2-1, Dreams FC maintaining a perfect home record with a 1-0 win over Hoho United, and champions Bibiani Gold Stars defeating Karela 1-0. Basake Holy Stars provided the weekend's drama, with Bismarck scoring in the 96th minute to secure a 2-2 draw against Vision FC. As a result, Medeama leads the league table. Heart of Lions are climbing up the table and they are now second. 11 Wonders remain at the bottom and Basake Holy Stars delivered late game heroics to salvage some points. Let's turn our attention to the Black Stars, and midfielder Francis Abu will miss the 2026 World Cup after suffering a serious injury in a friendly against Japan during the 2025 Kirin Challenge Cup. The 24-year-old Toulouse midfielder fractured both bones in his leg in the second half of Ghana's 2-0 defeat on November 14 and had to be stretchered off in visible pain. He has since undergone successful surgery at the Toyota Memorial Hospital in Japan and is now beginning a lengthy rehabilitation process. While there is some hope for an early return, he is unlikely to recover in time for next year's World Cup. The Ghana Football Association has confirmed that a physiotherapist will support him during the initial stages of recovery, and a senior technical team member will accompany him back to France. In other related Black Stars news, Mohamed Salisu and Antoine Semenyo have also returned to their clubs due to injuries and will not be available when Ghana face South Korea on Tuesday. Salisu is dealing with a bilateral medial collateral ligament sprain, while Semenyo aggravated a left anterior talofibular ligament sprain. Coach Otuado now has 19 players available for the match, which along with the Japan friendly, forms part of the team's preparation for next year's World Cup in the United States, Mexico and Canada. In the African World Cup qualifiers, DR Congo kept their 2026 hopes alive with a 4-3 penalty shootout win over Nigeria, following a 1-1 draw in the playoff final in Rabat. First of all, Nigeria took an early lead through Frank Onyeka, whose deflected strike wrong-footed goalkeeper Timothy Fayulu. DR Congo equalized just before the halftime through Meshak Elia. Nigeria struggled to create chances after losing star forward Victor Osimhen, while DR Congo grew more confident as the match progressed. The game went to penalties in heavy rain. Both teams exchanged successful kicks until Fayulu saved Semi Ajayi's effort, allowing captain Chancel Mbemba to score the decisive spot kick. DR Congo will now advance to next March's Interconfederation playoff, keeping alive their first World Cup hopes since 1974. However, the drama extended beyond the pitch as Nigeria head coach Eric Shell accused DR Congo players of engaging in voodoo practices during the penalty shootout. Reports from The Athletic indicated that Shell confronted members of DR Congo's technical staff moments after the match, expressing displeasure over what he described as inappropriate conduct during the the sports kicks. Shell later repeated the allegation in a mixed zone, suggesting the Congolese players consistently engaged in actions he believed influenced the penalty shootout. The claim adds to a contentious twist to an already emotional night, with DR Congo celebrating progress to the Interconfederation playoff and Nigeria coming to terms with a second consecutive failure to qualify for the World Cup. Over in Europe, Norway secured their first World Cup appearance in 28 years with a 4-1 victory over Italy. Haaland scored twice in quick succession, bringing his qualifying tally to 16 goals in 8 matches. Antonio Nusa and Wolverhampton Wanderers striker Strand Larsen also scored, sealing Norway's emphatic win. Meanwhile, Portugal crushed Armenia 9-1 in their final group match to qualify for a 7th consecutive World Cup. Bruno Fernandes and João Neves both scored hat-tricks, while Renato Veiga, Gonzalo Ramos and Francisco Conceição added to the tally. Despite Cristiano Ronaldo's absence, Portugal's dominant display ensured qualification. Norway and Portugal become the latest European teams to qualify, joining England, France and Croatia. Germany, Belgium, Denmark are all on the brink of automatic qualification. But Italy now face the playoffs, continuing a pattern of heartbreak in recent World Cup cycles. Ahead of their must-win clash with Norway, manager Gennaro Gattuso highlighted concerns over FIFA's qualification system, noting that the expanded World Cup format has made it more difficult for European teams to qualify directly. Italy needed a 9-goal victory over Norway to top Group I and avoid a third consecutive playoff appearance. Gattuso pointed out that in previous cycles, the best runners-up went straight to the World Cup, but under the current rules, Europe faces greater obstacles. He noted Africa's increased representation, from 2 teams in the early 1990s to 9 in the upcoming tournament, as an example of the shifting balance that makes qualification tougher for European sides. He also compared Europe's situation with South America, where 6 out of 10 teams qualified directly, and the 7th enters a playoff with Oceania, emphasizing that the current system leaves European teams with fewer direct paths. Italy, ranked 9th in the world, now fight to avoid missing their 3rd straight World Cup after painful playoff exits in 2018 and 2022. Finally, FIFA reports over 30,000 abusive posts on social media this year, with 11 individuals referred to law enforcement and 1 case submitted to Interpol. The Social Media Protection Service, launched in 2021 with FIFPro, monitors online activity to protect players, coaches and officials. Over 5.9 million posts were analyzed during the recent Club World Cup, with nearly 180,000 flagged for review. FIFA President Gianni Infantino emphasized that football must remain safe, inclusive and off the pitch. That wraps it up for today's edition of About Ghana Football News. Stay tuned for more updates on the Ghana Premier League, the Black Stars and the road to the 2026 World Cup, and thank you for watching.